Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning, Coach Darcy. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
You pushed that record button
I
just like
did.
that. I was
I
still
did.
yawning.
You are on. You're on deck. No time
No
for
time.
rest. Yeah.
Nope, that's all good though.
Welcome
That's a
to
good
Beyond the
week.
Scale, everybody. We're so happy that you're joining us today. We hope that you've had a fabulous week so far. This is a Tuesday morning, and so you haven't had much of a start, but by Tuesday morning, you should be setting the week off on the right direction.
Yeah,
I just think that's important. Have you been working out,
I have
Coach?
been. I really have been. I've been
Yeah,
feeling a lot better from my back injury into my arm injury, and I've been taking it easy. But today I'm feeling it in my muscles. I definitely worked out my arms very
that
well
is
today.
good. That's good. I
So
I had the red dog barking at me this morning, as because yesterday I had a contractor at the house, and so I had to miss workout. So I had gone the day before, and I thought, I could just make this a one workout week. That's just fine. I mean, I was talking myself out of it this morning because I have a conference to go to tomorrow. And so I'm like, I was there one day this week. Well, I didn't let him win.
I was gonna say you're not working out just because you have a conference tomorrow.
I know. It is hilarious how we let the red dog speak.
Yeah,
And
you say it out loud. That kind of makes oh, that doesn't
oops,
really make sense.
oops. Yeah. So what has helped me in my whole working out? Because I'm not a fan. Number one, I'm not a fan of clients working out to lose weight because of
Yeah.
that very reason, how much I hate it. And for every time I say that, there's a client who says, "I love it, Monica." Uh,
Yes.
Not very many. So we can talk ourselves out, especially now that it's fall and it's cold outside and the
hmm
windows are, a little bit iced up and
You got your
it's
sweaters on.
sweater weather.
Sweater
Yeah.
weather.
It's much easier to sit in my chair with my coffee. And I could even spiritualize it. I could even say, I'm doing my devotions. And,
Hmm.
that's why we don't do that. Your abs are built in the kitchen for this particular reason. However, giving yourself a kick in the butt is okay. So that's
Yeah.
what I did this morning. I was there. And what has helped me is telling my trainer how many times he can have me next week and how many times I will be in, hey, your cup. You're you're drinking out of your fun.
Squirrel.
Coach Darcy just took a drink and you guys can't see us because we're audio, but it's video. And she has my favorite coffee cup this
Oh
morning.
my goodness.
In her will, she's going to give it to me, but I won't ever get it because I'm the old one. I'm the old
I
sister.
mean, this cup means a lot of things to me. It means when I was about 8 months pregnant with my first one, I got this at an art show, and there's a dragon inside of my
It's a
cup. So
dinosaur. I
it's a
don't like
dragon.
dragons. They're
It's
scary.
I mean, it doesn't have wings, so I guess it could
It's a
be,
dinosaur.
but either they're kind of the same thing.
He's cute. He's really cute.
He really
I
is.
love him. I love
Yeah.
him. His name is George. I named him that. I don't know. He probably has
No,
a
I'm
different name.
pretty
But
sure I named him, but that's fine.
I, I have one of those cups because there's a little, I mean, there's a little, we got to talk to our podcaster. There's a little actual physical dinosaur slash dragon inside the cup. And
Yes.
so when you're drinking him, you can see his little eyeballs.
Looking
It's
at
really
you.
cute. It is really cute. But I have one. I'm like, I want him so badly. And it's not the same at my house.
I
And
love
I
you.
think
I love you a lot, but you're still not going to get my cup.
well, even if he came here, even if a miracle happened and he came here, he wouldn't be the same. It's when I come to your house
Oh,
and I drink out of that cup. So
you
don't
know,
ever give him to me.
this squirrel moment really reeled us into what we're talking about today.
It sure did. I
Do you
planned
know,
it.
Did you really? No, you didn't.
Oh gosh.
So,
Oh.
so today, as we're talking about podcasting topics, that's one thing that podcasters really don't talk about is the struggle of having topics of
Oh, it's hard.
what does our audience, what do our listeners want to hear?
Yeah.
And so when as we are going back and forth, we are like, well, Thanksgiving's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
So, if
Let's
not
do
in a
it.
couple of weeks for you, whoever is listening right now, so we're going to talk about Thanksgiving
Yeah, our
and how,
Canadian friends
yeah,
already had
they
Thanksgiving.
did.
They
They
did. How
did.
did you
And
guys do? Did you do okay? Do you have the same traditions as us?
maybe
I've
we
always
should look
wondered
that
that.
up. I know.
Yeah.
That's a good.
But they already had theirs. Theirs was the beginning of October, but
Hmm.
ours is the end of November.
Yes.
And it is never too soon to start talking about this because I was talking, it was at Bible study last night, and we were talking about the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I probably said their names wrong.
No,
And
you're good.
Daniel. And Daniel.
And Daniel. There's Daniel.
Yeah, we were talking about those guys, those heroes in the Bible, and it literally says, and it just was a light bulb moment for me. It said Daniel predetermined. And I think it says the same about the three Hebrew boys.
Yep.
He had predetermined that he was not going to feast from the king's table, and he had predetermined that they were not going to bow before the idols. It just hit me, and I told the girls last night, we'd separated into the guys and girls group, and I said, you know what? This is something that I literally discuss with my clients every single day. That's why we talk about in every meeting that we have. That's why we talk about what do you have coming up to this week? Are you getting on a plane this week? Do you have a baby shower? Predetermining what you're going to do will be the best thing that you can possibly do this holiday season because we got Halloween. When we are cutting this podcast, we have not seen Halloween yet. I think it will be posted after Halloween in our podcasting world. But we've got Thanksgiving coming up. We've got Halloween. We've got Christmas. All of the things are coming up.
Yes.
And I love how sometimes scripture really just connects us to reality, and that's predetermining. So let's chat a little bit this morning about predetermining things. Like we all know this is a given. Coach, I want to lose weight. I don't want to gain weight over the holidays, right? Which you can, by the way. We lost 20 pounds between
Yeah.
November and January. So you can lose weight. So that's a given. I want to lose weight, coach. Well, what's not a given is these things that come up. If you look at your calendar, especially between Thanksgiving and Christmas, every single weekend is full of something, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So, what are the things that we need to start thinking about now? When we talk about predetermining, it's what we're recording this on the 24th of October. You're going to hear this on the 15th of um, November, I think, somewhere around there. You're
Right.
hearing this the beginning of November. November 12th, you're hearing this. So, why would we start talking about it now? And what are some of the things that we need to predetermine now?
So I like to come at this with my clients about like thinking how many of them have like these favorite dishes that they have. When it comes to the actual gathering, that's the major thing that they start to get flustered about. Like
Mhm.
I don't want to go to these events because I've got grandma's pie that I
Mhm.
always like. It's a tradition. So they have these traditions that we go into that they start to get emotional about. They start to have
Mhm.
FOMO already, even
Mhm.
months out. There's going to be all sorts of work parties, all sorts of randomized holiday parties that have a similar feel to it. They bring the same stuff or very similar
Mhm.
things to it. So I ask my clients, what are your favorite dishes that you go to these events and you are drawn to and you have to have it?
Mhm.
And they tell me what it is. Let's say the pumpkin pie.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving-ish. That is Thanksgiving. I think you can have pumpkin pie anytime.
Oh
But
yeah.
I mean, and then I'm like, great. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to prepare
Hmm.
a pumpkin pie way ahead of time. You're
Hmm.
going to try this. If you've never tried making a low carb pumpkin pie, you're going to try it. That way you can tweak it or decide, no, I really don't like this anymore.
Hmm.
So, pre-planning
Hmm.
what you're going to have at these places. And now, if you're going to somebody else's house, you can always offer, like, hey, I'm coming over. Is it okay if I bring,
Hmm.
X, Y, and Z? I'd love to help out, and bring extra. So
Hmm.
that is what we like to talk down, basically off, help our clients just
Off
off
the
the
ledge of
ledge.
pecan pie and pumpkin pie.
But even though they bring their things, Coach Monica, what happens to when they do bring their own things, but yet they're faced with
Uh-huh.
the other things that other people bring? What do
Right.
they do when now
Yeah.
they may have this keto pie that they made,
Uh-huh.
but there's these other things that look really good to them right now.
Hmm.
What do they do?
Yeah. I think a lot of that goes back to predetermining your plan and working with your coach to say, okay, here's what I want to do. And here's an example. And let me give a little shout out to our local keto bakery up here because I'm not one that can bake a pie. You would not want to taste my keto pie, my keto anything. So, what I saw come across my Facebook page yesterday was the pre-ordering of Baked by Vi. You have until this and such date to pre-order your pie. So, guess what I did? I'm like, I'm not going to bake anything. I'm going to pre-order. I'm going to get on her list so that I can. However, that doesn't fix everything, like you said, right? Because there's going to be other tempting things. So, what I do with a client is I will look at their individual plan. So there are some clients. Now we do what we call diet waves and diet pauses. Okay, so we do this thing where we go through, and it's divided into 6 weeks. Sometimes we do this. We don't do this with every client, but there are sometimes we're pushing the accelerator down and we have these clients in a calorie deficit, a pretty big calorie deficit. They're working on their fasting, they're working on the content of what they're eating. Perhaps they go into carnivore for 6 weeks. We have them in an aggressive journey. I don't ever have a client on an aggressive journey during the holiday season. So we need to pre-plan about 6 to 10 weeks before Thanksgiving for my clients who are in that program, who have some aggressive calorie deficits, who have some aggressive eating plans. So by Thanksgiving, I have got their diet reversed so that they can eat nearly the 2,000 calories. And we may, depending on their status of food addiction, I would never do this with a food addict and never give them keto sweets. We would tweak their plan a little bit. So maybe if this person was, say, strict carnivore, and you can totally be strict at Thanksgiving and you can do it like a beast.
You will
We've
be
seen it done.
sleeping from that turkey.
You absolutely can. You can be carnivore at Thanksgiving, right? But I
Let's hope
also,
so.
yeah, yeah, let's hope so. But let's also talk reality. Let's talk reality with we work with people every day and we understand what reality is. Reality is maybe 20% of the people can be strict carnivore. We understand the rest of them need another plan and they need a plan B. So we talk about it. I want to know what their holiday plans look like. I want to know what's on their calendar. I want to know what their traditions are. So if there's any way possible, we can reprogram and we can re-anchor their minds into this new thing. Great example is, and you ruined it last year, but a great example of re-anchoring is the switch from Grampy's crackers, his oyster crackers, that was his pride and joy, to my new excitement of coming to Thanksgiving and seeing the cream puffs, right?
Oh, don't expect those this year.
I know I lowered my expectations. But I did it one year and it
Oh,
totally
you
worked.
did.
It totally
Yeah.
worked. And it still works last year because we had
Mhm.
amazing keto goodies there. We did. But it was getting excited over the fact that I don't get to have those keto cream puffs every day. I don't get to have them at all. And so I know that when I go to Thanksgiving, those things are going to be there and or whatever your yummy treat is, it's going to be there. Other treats. Your mother-in-law makes incredible treats, and I know that
Yeah.
she's going to provide that. And so I re-anchored my memories from Grampy's oyster crackers to I know what's going to be there, and I'm salivating thinking about it. So you can re-anchor those memories. So what the coaching team needs to know is what are your traditions? Bring us in. We have clients from Israel. Hanukkah, those people know how to celebrate.
Yeah, they
And
do.
every week I have to ketoize a tradition, in their
Hmm.
in their lifestyle. So reprogramming and just tweaking it a little bit. And also the word no comes to mind. I
Yeah.
will never be able to have a donut again. It's okay. It is okay. So you're going to have to look over some of those things. And yeah, you're going to be grabbed by those other things. You can say no. You don't have to give in to that. You can go to the keto table. You can go.
Yeah.
What would your thoughts be on that?
I would I would definitely say on the word no, then people are going to be very persuasive. Like, oh, well, I
Mm-hmm.
made this for you.
Yeah.
I knew that you were keto, even though it wasn't really truly keto and you knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're like, oh, great. Or maybe it wasn't keto and it's something that you absolutely love and they made that pie for you because
Mm-hmm.
they know that they make that pie for you every year because they
Mm-hmm.
love you. And so you have that guilt right inside of your heart right there. It's
Yeah.
sitting there. But all you need to do is with that word no, say no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on my health right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm focusing on me. And that doesn't include this.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate all the hard work that you put into this.
Yeah.
Just, you don't have to even go into that depth of explanation, but if you are afraid of hurting that person's
Mm-hmm.
feelings, they'll get over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody else will eat it.
Yeah.
But I also was thinking about and making a list as we are talking about this. This is,
Uh-huh.
some pinpoints of this. But one thing I would add would be, a lot of times, yes, Thanksgiving is about it has turned to focus about food. Like we
Mm-hmm.
we gather together, we eat at a table together,
Mm-hmm.
and we're focusing on the thankful gratitude that we have in our heart.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of gone against that anymore. I don't know if people are thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the gratitude in their heart on Thanksgiving anymore. But my new favorite tradition that we have started, which is actually a funny one, because it's not really new, because we used to do that back in the 80s and early 90s, is we used to play games. Our
Mm-hmm.
focus was not
Euchre.
about food. It was about games and bunko and
Mm-hmm.
all of
Euchre.
these all of these games that your kids are bringing up. They're so weird, but we play them anyway. It's
Can we
that
talk
is
about why no one wants to be my partner at euchre?
because you're not great. It's not that you're not great. It's more so you're not focused.
There's so much happening in the room.
You
And to
want to
focus
chat.
on those cards is so torturous to me
Oh,
because I want to
so
see what everybody else is doing in the room. And then my partner gets mad at me.
well, yeah, yeah.
That
There's
might
that
not work for
competitiveness,
everybody. Yeah.
but it's a tradition of we know that Coach Monica is not going to be on anybody's team. She's
It
just going to
brings
go
me back
socialize.
to eighth grade when when everybody goes down the line to pick their team and you're the last one picked. That's how I feel.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
just weren't really athletic. I was one of the last
No.
ones picked too, but you have
Nobody
to get
wanted me
over
on
it.
their team, and they still don't want me on their team because they think I'm judging them by what's on their plate.
That's so true. Um,
Oh gosh,
but
but
the
that's
biggest
so
thing,
true.
the
Yeah.
biggest takeaway of what I mean is start a new tradition
Yes.
and not let it be around food. And you
Hmm.
can start it. It might take some work and effort into putting it together, but once
Hmm.
you do that and people do it,
You know
then
what I suggested?
what
That
did you
everybody shot down. I may need therapy over our family situations. I suggested a turkey trot, a 5K for our family, and they
and don't
all
run.
they all mocked me. One
Mm,
guy supported me. That might have been one guy and one of the twins.
yeah.
I think might have been in that support
Yep.
team.
Hey,
Again,
listen. Not all of
Again,
us are runners. I make it like half a couple jots and then I need to walk and then I do a couple jots and then I need to walk.
you'd have
Like
us up there singing karaoke or something.
with running? No.
No, not together.
No, I would not
Ah,
have karaoke either. That is not my first go-to, surprisingly. But I enjoy making these new traditions. I
yes.
love the lost art of hearing people's stories. I
Hmm.
loved back in the day when we
Oh,
used to
yeah.
sit around, listen to Grampy's war stories or listen
Yes.
to what was going on in people's worlds.
Yes.
Anymore, it's a lot of drama and yes, we disagree, but that's a part of Thanksgiving. So
Yeah,
just
not politics or
not
religion.
politics.
I would
Um,
recommend not.
but genuinely taking the time to listen and hear people, and you learn a lot about your family when
Hmm.
you do that, and you don't
Yeah.
input opinions
You
or
can get
what
rid of
have
years
you.
of counseling because you're like, oh, that's why I am the way I am.
Yeah, and they'll be like,
Oh,
your cousins will be like, "Oh yeah, I felt the same way."
yeah, we're normal.
I don't,
We're What was
the
that game
point.
we played this year? Do you remember? Were you part of that game in the
Yes,
middle of the
code games, and I
what was it called? What
code
was it? It
games,
was called Code Games?
code
Code
names.
Names. That was
Yeah,
fun. I
that
like
was fun.
strategy games. I
Yeah,
like
it's so
strategy games, not
so
euchre.
the point of what I'm saying is, we can make it all about food, but we don't have to.
Yeah.
There's so many different other options.
Yeah. So
Um,
let's talk about the games. Let's talk about the whole environment of Thanksgiving and
mhm.
our clients who have macros and they're really stressed out about macros. I've got these macros. I'm going to eat right, and they choose to eat right, but they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm terrified about how much to eat." What are some of the tips that we give our clients as to, okay, do we want them still tracking on Thanksgiving? And how does that look? And how can they best use? No, number one, we don't care about their macros that day.
Right.
If they log their food, it's fine.
Yeah.
You really can't overeat when you are keto. But those ones that are like rule followers, what do we say to them? I compare it to the bank account, just so you know where I'm going. But like,
I don't,
well,
I'm going
when you go
away.
through the line, you think about I've
Yeah.
got from morning until
Oh,
late
yes.
snack time, when we're
Yes.
playing games, and you
Yes.
want them to still have food left by the end of the day. So how would you recommend planning out how much they're going to eat? We know what they're going to eat. They're going to eat whole foods. They're going to eat, we know the what, but how would you recommend them like would
Can I
you
just, I'll
recommend
just,
them getting up and having a bulletproof coffee in the morning?
oh, right. No.
No,
No.
because
Well, you're starting your day off with most of your calories in
yeah.
that bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
So you need to predetermine
Hmm.
what you are planning on eating. So what I'll just say what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go there.
And then I'll tell you what
And,
I'm going to do.
and I'm carnivore. So I'm
Oh.
going to right now I'm being carnivore.
Hmm.
Like for a while I'm going to be carnivore. I might be making it carnivore through Thanksgiving. We'll see. But this is my plan. I'm focused on protein. So it's going to be super simple for me. I'm going to obviously have my meal with a family. Like
Hmm.
I'm not just I'm going to make it smaller portions maybe, focusing on my proteins, the things that are very low in carbs. I'm going to and if you are well, I'm carnivore. It's going to be very simple for me then. This is
Hmm.
what's happening. I'm going to provide like I'm going to count on Coach Monica's husband to bring brisket.
Hmm.
So I'm going to have a variety of different meats that is there, and I will eat that throughout the day. And I will make them. I will fill my stomach, and if I'm not hungry, I'm probably not going to eat anything. But I'll probably have coffee with my
Hmm.
family, um, and water. That's going to be my go-to for snack wise. I might go back for some more protein if I'm hungry, or hard-boiled eggs, deviled eggs, things like that.
Hmm.
And for me, I'm not doing dairy. So there's going to be a lot less options. So I may bring in some coconut oil or
Hmm.
not coconut oil, coconut cream. That's probably what I will
Yeah.
bring.
Yeah.
I have not done coconut cream as of at this point, but I know that's lower in the toxicity level, and
Hmm.
that's a good time to, bring that in. But that's going to be my go-to. But you can still, in the keto world, do the same thing where you can focus on the proteins in the order of things too,
Yeah.
because those carbs, those vegetables that you will go to, they've got a lot of water in them. They'll fill you up for a little bit, but then you're
Hmm.
going to go right back and have more veggies.
Yeah.
So focus on your proteins first. Don't do the bulletproof coffee
No.
at the in the morning. Fast as long as you can,
Yeah.
all morning long while you're cooking, while you're helping cook, while you're setting things up. Go all morning long without eating until your actual meal.
Hmm.
Then focus on that. And then, you will have your veggies, you will have your sweet treats. Say, I would say you could do a couple things, and you might have a different idea, Monica, of when you are having your dessert, save room for dessert while you're eating,
Yeah.
because in that case, you're not making that a trigger. You're just adding it in with your food. Like you're
Hmm.
eating your pie while you're not at the same time. You might
Hmm.
do pie and turkey together. I don't know. And this that would be kind of weird, but you can have it on the same plate
Hmm.
and eat it at the same time and then eat until you're full. And then when card games come, maybe you save that dessert for the very last thing that you're doing at the end of the day while you're playing cards or games or something like that, or talking,
Hmm.
having your coffee or your tea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's similar to what I do too. And I always tell our clients to look at the day like a bank account. You don't want to spend your money on frivolous things that aren't going to make you full, that are going to make you, hungry, that are going to make you munchy. So definitely backload your calories on that day. I'm a proponent of breakfast. I'm a proponent of, of fasting as well. But a lot of people surprisingly say, "Oh, I had my bulletproof coffee in the morning," and and I'm like, "No, we don't. I mean, you do you." But it's like drinking your calories. Why would
Yeah.
we want to drink our calories when we know there's this big smorgasbord coming? So I always do try to fast on Thanksgiving, and I don't wake my stomach up until noon when we eat. Um, and then I think of my calories and my macros as a bank account. You spend, you got to keep some in there. You've got to make sure you've allotted some snack time, because that's part of, we can always say, "Oh, go do the games," but reality is it's around food. Until we
Yeah.
change that, it's
Yeah.
around food. So save some of those calories for, the snack time, when you're sitting around the dinner table playing cards. And they can be the lower calorie ones. They don't have to be anything. But yes, focus on your proteins first, your proteins and fats first, and then you're going to eat half of what you thought you were going to eat.
Yeah.
So,
And when you see everyone else having dessert and you may have had your dessert already and you're
hmm.
feeling left out because everybody's,
Hmm.
back at the
Yeah.
dessert table, that is when, in any situation, that
Hmm.
is Christmas parties, work Christmas parties, think, other I don't know, even in the summertime, whatever
Hmm.
parties that is, I always have a coffee in my hand
Yeah.
or a tea in my hand or a nice bubbly water in my
Hmm.
hand. So then I have something there occupying it and I'm also partaking with everybody else. It
Yeah.
might be in a different way, but it's something that is nice. And
Yes.
that's where you could probably add some cream to your coffee if you want. I don't
Yeah.
know. But um that's what I think
Yeah. It's
distracts
important.
the FOMO.
Yeah. And for the love of everything keto, do not go into the day as a keto martyr. Do
Hmm.
not announce to the family, "I'm on a diet. Everybody has to succumb to what I need to do. Or, "I'm so sad. All I get to eat is this meat." Put a keto joy hat on, put a health joy hat, because you're changing your life. You are transforming who you are. This is who you are now. So stop playing diet. Stop playing this little sad role of, "I can't eat this," when you are choosing not to bring in the yummy stuff. You can make keto mac and cheese like you wouldn't believe. It was so frustrating. I will never forget when Coach Darcy and it was one of our first Thanksgivings in Silver Lake. And we saw the keto mac and cheese. going down, 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 down. We were way in the back of the line and we're like, if we don't stop this line, they're going to eat. And the mac and cheese was right next to it, or scalloped potatoes or something was right next to it. Ours was what was going. And I'm like, dude, if you don't go pull that from the lineup, we're not going to get any.
Yeah.
So, um, keto food is real food and it's really yummy, and the temptation and the possibilities is that you won't get it if you're not in line or if you don't pull it aside. But
Or make
don't be a
enough.
martyr. Yeah, make
Yeah.
enough for everybody. It's real
Yeah.
food. We
Yeah.
made the keto mac and cheese with cream cheese, heavy cream, garlic, all of it's yummy and people like what you're. Now the only thing that I disclaim and write keto on are the sweets, because people sometimes will have a sensitivity to sweeteners.
Yeah.
And so everything else, though, there's no disclaimer. It's not keto mac and cheese. It's just, it is what it is. So don't go there with a bum attitude. If you go there with a bum attitude and make people feel sorry for you, you will be off of your plan within a week because you'll be feeling sorry for yourself. So make yourself the food that you love, volunteer to bring your scalloped potatoes, but make a keto version of the scalloped potatoes. Be a happy warrior. When you're a happy warrior, people will support you, and they will be less likely to be your enablers and kick you off of your plan. And you're going to have a yummy time. So we want to challenge you, this Thanksgiving. Make it fun. It does not have to be overwhelming, but it does take pre-planning and preparing. It
Yeah.
takes predetermining. There's nothing that could kick me off track.
Now I'm going to add one more. I was just
Mm-hmm.
thinking about this. We talked about calories and tracking and how we don't expect our clients to stay within their calories because
Mm-hmm.
it happens. But this is where you can really pre-plan, making sure that when you are tracking your food and you will have the mindset of weight loss. As a coach, we look at the 7-day average of where your calories
Mm-hmm.
are at the end of the day, right? So, or end of the week. So when your calories are in a deficit, we
Mm-hmm.
know that on Thanksgiving Day you're going to be over.
Right.
That's just but it takes 3,500 extra calories to gain 1 pound.
Yeah.
Now you might feel extra inflamed afterwards because, if somebody else made something and they didn't follow the instructions and whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
might, and whoever cooked that brisket in a wrong oil, you might get inflamed from that. So that's where that comes from. But the
Yeah.
calories, usually when you are spot on every single day for the previous days, and then you know that you went over by a couple hundred not a couple
Mm-hmm.
hundred, maybe a couple hundred calories, you're not going to panic because you know your average is probably just fine.
Yeah.
And when we do the zigzag, like we talk about the zigzag on the macros, like one day you just might not be hungry, you might not hit your calories the way you
Mm-hmm.
need to. The next day you might be on point and you might
Mm-hmm.
be doing this zigzag. So the stress of, oh, I have to make sure that I'm
Mm-hmm.
measuring, I'm taking my scale
No.
with me, I'm on point, I'm making it known that I am counting my calories, that can just go out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
For
that's my
sure.
opinion.
Now, I still love our clients' tracking,
Yes.
because, and even though we know it's not accurate, just because when you keep your thumbs moving like that and your tracking fingers exercise, then it's going to just be right. You're just going to ease right into the next day and be just completely fine. So,
You're gonna be put at ease when you do that too. You're
yeah,
not gonna be like,
yeah,
look at what I just did, and I feel fantastic. I
hmm
was satisfied. I had a fun time, and nobody talked about politics.
yeah. You think that'll happen this time?
Oh, I don't know what to
Oh,
expect.
this could be an interesting Thanksgiving. Everything will be over, so maybe they'll be
Yeah,
happy. Maybe it'll be good
or not.
or not. Oh
You
my
know.
gosh. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You may need our help after the political discussion. You may be like, I got to go get those coaches because I just put on about 20 pounds sitting here talking.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can do it. I want you right now because we're airing this before Thanksgiving. So I want you right now, when you turn off this podcast, to go grab a piece of paper and I want you to pre-plan what it is. Number one, what are your intentions? You've got to decide cheating's not an option or cheating is an option. You got to decide for yourself. what it is. For me, cheating is not an option on Thanksgiving. So I have predetermined that. So, with that said, I understand that there will not be food there. Now, thankfully, we have a lucky family because I think there's 11 of us who are keto,
Yeah.
which so we are lucky there. Most people are not lucky in that fact. So they've got to really prep and they've got to really plan. So get a menu out. How are you going to participate with everybody else? What are you going to do to make sure you've got a dessert? You've got, something scrumptiously protein wise. You got this delicious meat and you've got a delicious carb, or, comfort food is what I like to call it. Have something that you normally don't eat. Have something. I don't ever have keto mac and cheese here. It's a lot of calories, a lot of fat. I do on Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
So predetermine your menu, predetermine, and then think about, like Darcy said, what games are you going to bring? How are we going to revert our faces away from the food line? But if you don't predetermine it, it is a proven fact that if you live in this country, and I think it's just a human being thing that we have been conditioned to take the path of least resistance. You're not going to fight with grandma over that pie if you've not predetermined that you're not putting sugar in your mouth. You're going to take the path of least resistance and you will end up full of shame and guilt the next day. And that's
Hmm.
what we want to prevent here. And you can. Coach Darcy and I lost 20 pounds between Thanksgiving and January 1st. So you can totally do that. I don't know what your exact one was, Darth. That was something that I had calculated one year in my weight loss journey. I don't know what yours was,
Right.
but
Well, I started in September, so
okay.
and it was about an average of 10-ish
Yeah. So you're about there.
per. Yeah.
You were about there too. So,
Yeah.
and now we have got the conundrum, and we'll talk about this in another show. We've got the conundrum of being in maintenance and feeling like, oh, can I be a little bit more relaxed this year? The answer to that is no, we can't. But that's a reality. When you get to maintenance, you go into a different mindset and it's a very scary mindset of how do I live now? What do I do? Can I ever eat the old way again? The answer to that is 100% no, you can't.
Well, now we can't do another show because you just summed it
I
up.
just I just teased him with it. Yeah.
Okay. We'll
You and
go
I,
in more depth.
yes, we'll tease that apart. We'll
Yes.
break that apart. We're so glad you joined us today, and we're so thankful that we have reached another season, another year of being thankful. And we want to encourage you if you need help on your journey, if you don't want to do this alone, grab a coach. There's nothing better than having a coach over the holiday season because then you are losing the 20 pounds. You are
Yep.
working on that loss. So go over to kmhealthcoaching.org and you're going to find a plethora of information over there. You're going to find Coach Darcy over there. You'll find my Coach Monica. You'll find the Addiction Treatment Center over there. And heck, if you want to become a coach and you want to get certified yourself, you'll even find that over there. So
Yay.
kmhealthcoaching.org. And we release a new podcast each and every Tuesday. So we will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place.
Bye.